Hello, my name is Larry Van Leeshout. I'm a research scientist with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, and I administer the FieldCheck program in our state. This program provides pesticide applicators with information about the locations of pesticide-sensitive crops and beehives so they can take precautions when making applications in these areas. Pesticide drift is a concern due to the off-site damage it can cause. For example, herbicide drift can result in damage to crops and landscape plants. In addition, bee deaths and reduced bee vigor have been associated with insecticide drift to hives and bee exposure during treatment. Drift of some pesticides to plants that bees forage on is also a concern and can harm bees. Avoid drift of these pesticides to flowering plants such as canola, alfalfa, apples, some weeds, and other plants if bees are present. Hopefully, most applicators are familiar with the Field Watch map. This is how information is shared between producers and applicators. Producers refers to crop growers and beekeepers. Here's a sample map for Minnesota. Pins on the map indicate locations of pesticide-sensitive fields and beehives. I'll provide more details in a few minutes, but we'll start with some background information. FieldWatch is a nonprofit corporation that manages 3 mapping programs which help producers and applicators communicate more easily. FieldCheck is set up for pesticide applicators, DriftWatch for specialty crop growers, and BeeCheck for beekeepers. These names are all fairly similar and sometimes used interchangeably. Specialty crop growers and beekeepers utilize DriftWatch and BeeCheck to mark the locations of their sensitive sites on the FieldWatch map. Applicators can then use the FieldCheck program to view this information in their area of operation and obtain producer contact information if needed. Here we are back at the map. The system is Google Map based. Locate your area of operation by manually dragging and zooming around the map, or enter an address or latitude/longitude in the search box. As you zoom in on the map, the field borders become apparent, and abbreviations in the pin indicate the crop which is grown in that field. Here is a list of the specialty crops originally on the FieldWatch menu. It includes beehives, fruits, vegetables, nursery, and organic crops. There are few restrictions on who can post sites on the map. FieldWatch is for commercial producers with at least half an acre. It is not for personal gardens. However, any size apiary, commercial or hobby, can post on the site. Here is a sample farm. Prior to making a pesticide application, scout the area for sensitive sites. Also check the FieldWatch map and note specialty crop sites and beehives that can be impacted by drift. Pin abbreviations, font, and color indicate the crop and type of production. Many of these look very similar, so select a pin to obtain more information. For example, select the V pin on this map. Here's a sample of the information about the site, including crop information and contact information for the producer. Contact information is usually not too important for crop producers since they can't move their field. Notice that the crop at the site is listed in the upper right corner. The type of production is also listed. Options here include conventionally grown, certified organic. If this option is chosen, it will also provide a certification number and the name of the certifying agency, or organically grown, which means it's grown without synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, but it's not certified. Producers can add additional notes about special circumstances for this site. This is usually not needed. An expiration date is listed in the upper right corner. In order to keep the map current, sites must be renewed annually. In addition to specialty crops, there is also concern about damage due to herbicide drift between field crops. Here's a common cropping situation that could raise concerns about potential herbicide drift injury. Not too many years ago, herbicide drift concerns could be predicted based on the crops and available herbicides. However, the development of herbicide-tolerant crops makes estimating herbicide drift injury potential difficult. Some field crop growers are concerned that applicators assume crops are 2,4-D and/or dicamba tolerant and express interest in mapping herbicide tolerances of their fields. To address this concern, some field crops were added to the FieldWatch system. The current crops in the system are corn, cotton, rice, and soybeans. FieldWatch is nationally used, and there's probably not much need for cotton and rice in Minnesota. After selecting the crop, indicate its herbicide tolerances. Herbicide tolerances are listed by active ingredient. Select all that apply to your crop. Note that there is an option for conventional or non-herbicide tolerant hybrids. Here are the herbicide tolerance options for soybeans. Choose all active ingredients or herbicide sites of actions that apply. Again, there's an option for conventional varieties. If you're familiar with crop herbicide trait names rather than active ingredients, the University of Minnesota Extension has a thorough review of herbicide-tolerant traits for Minnesota crops on their website. This information is also listed in the Minnesota North Dakota State Bulletin, which is available in the back of the room. So now, selecting a given pin for corn or soybeans brings up information about the crop in that area and its herbicide tolerance. So how do you get started? From the fieldwatch.com page, you can enter the various mapping programs for specialty crop growers, beekeepers, and pesticide applicators. Select the FieldCheck button for pesticide applicators. On the next page, current users can log into their account. New users can create an account. This involves entering a username, password, and contact information. Most producers sign up in the late spring or early summer, but sites can be added at any time. To make sure you do not miss a new site, applicators can choose to receive free email alerts when a new site is added in their area. They can choose to receive alerts for the entire state. The reason for these alerts is that sites can be added any time during a season. Here's an example of the changes that can occur in a few days. This is a cluttered map, but notice the rapid changes that occurred in a couple areas. This is from back in 2017. Most producers map their sites earlier now. Instead of getting alerts for the entire state, you can receive email alerts for selected counties, which are chosen from a list. Or you can choose to draw a custom region on the map. This option allows applicators to outline their area of operation and receive new site notices only for this area. Here's a sample email notification of new sites in an applicator's area. In this case, beehives and a grape vineyard were added. Select the View on Map button to zoom into the new locations. New site notices can result in a large number of emails. The other option is skip notifications and check the map at the time of application. Be aware that labels of some growth regulator herbicides for use on tolerant crops require that a sensitive crop registry, such as FieldWatch, be consulted prior to application. However, remember any pesticide can drift. There are also many insect pests that may require foliar insecticide applications. Insecticide drift is a concern for bee health. Check product labels for instructions on bee and pollinator protection. Bee exposure warnings are found on a number of insecticide labels from various modes of action. For example, this product is highly toxic to bees exposed to direct treatment or residues on blooming crops and weeds. Use FieldWatch to locate nearby beehives prior to application. EPA introduced the Bee Advisory Box and Bee Icon on neonic labels due to their high risk to bees. Check the label for steps to protect bees from these applications. Selecting a pin brings up contact information for that beekeeper. Inform them of planned insecticide applications so they can move, cover, or screen their hives. A general recommendation is to give beekeepers within a 2-mile radius a 48-hour warning. This is required for some neonic insecticides. After all this talk about this wonderful system, I'm going to tell you not to trust the map totally. The map is a great tool, but not every crop grower or beekeeper registers your sites. Hives can be moved, and updating the map may not be their top concern. Also, crop varieties and herbicide tolerances can be changed at planting time and not be updated on the map. So maintain required setbacks and use proper application practices always. If you don't already have your cell phone in your hand, this would be a good time to get it out. If you need assistance with FieldCheck, starting at the fieldwatch.com page, select Resources in the left column. On the next page, there are links to videos and detailed user guides. While on the Resources page, scroll to the bottom. There's a link for a free app, both Apple and Android, to allow you to access FieldCheck from your mobile device. There are also FieldWatch how-to videos on the MDA website. Just search for FieldWatch or any of its services. There are also a number of other YouTube videos available. There are different levels of access to the FieldWatch map. There's a free public map online which shows all crop locations and most beehives. However, some beekeepers choose to hide their hives if theft or vandalism is a concern. Registered applicators will see all the beehive sites, and there's still no fee. There is a data subscription membership which provides the information in a downloadable format, and there is a small fee involved with this level. So in summary, FieldWatch programs are voluntary, free, and non-regulatory. FieldWatch is currently available in 24 states, 1 province, and Washington, D.C., and increasing each year. For applicators that operate in neighboring states, most are also in the FieldWatch system. You'll notice that North Dakota is an exception. North Dakota has its own system called the North Dakota VMAP. It also includes vineyards and organic fields. If you apply pesticides in North Dakota, also become familiar with this system. In addition to online technology, also utilize your eyes. Scout the surrounding area for sensitive sites and watch for good old-fashioned signs that may be posted. Personal contacts are still very useful. Talk with your clients and neighbors to see if they are aware of any pesticide-sensitive sites in the area. With that, I'd like to say thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me for more information or assistance.